afternoon. We are back today. It is Thursday. Caden and I have been losing track of what day of the week it is because we don't have all the normal activities that help define what day it is. So I always have to think, what day is it? Anyways, it is Thursday. So we're almost through our first week of quarantine. We are almost finished with our complete week of doing drawing videos with you guys. We've got one more this week. I did 3 last week. So this is a lot of fun stuff we're having. We totally enjoy doing this with you guys. It's kind of the highlight of our day. We can't wait to have art time with everybody. And I love seeing all the pictures of all you kids that are drawing along with us and painting. You guys are so creative. The mermaids yesterday were amazing that I saw. So keep sharing those with me. I love seeing your pictures. Please remember, moms and dads and whoever's helping run the show with the Facebook, that if you share this, it helps me reach more people so that they know that I'm doing this. It also helps me let Facebook know that I'm the real deal, that I'm doing stuff that's good. And so it just helps when you share, when you comment. I love seeing hellos from everybody. So be sure you say hi. Tell me the ages of the kids that are drawing. That way we know what things would be good to do for next week, because we're going to keep doing this. Today we're going to do a rocket or a spaceship, and we're going to also do an astronaut. Yesterday when we did the mermaids, it was fun to draw the people, and so today I went ahead and decided we're going to add an astronaut to our drawing so you girls can make your astronaut a girl. It's super cute, super fun. We'll do a little bit more watercoloring today because when we paint the planets, we'll have fun doing some different techniques with that. So supplies today, if you need a minute to go get something, I'll give you a minute to start, but we need our watercolors. If you don't have watercolor, it's okay. You can use pencil. You can use markers, you can use crayons, whatever you have. Don't let not having watercolor keep you from having fun with art. Couple little things for just making circles when we do our planets. I got this out of my granddaughter's little kitchen area. This is just a little cup, a coaster, a pancake, a wooden pancake from her kitchen. We can use also the cans that we use for the water. So just whatever you have handy, just to trace around for circles for our planet. So you might grab a few of those. You don't need very many. You can do this art project again later. You can do it on a bigger piece of paper. I would encourage you, if you do have bigger paper, to do it on a bigger piece of paper. It's going to be a lot of fun. You may or may not need a pair of scissors. I know I said that yesterday. We can cut some of this out and then glue it on our background if we want, or we'll just draw around it. So, and your Sharpie. I don't know where mine went. Sharpie. That's the other thing we need. Is that it, Caden? Is that all the list?
You can use this
and paper. I think mine's, whoops, cut my hair.
You can use one of these.
Okay, I like Sharpies better, but anyways. Okay, so we are going to adjust this down. And
Mom, here's your Sharpie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. You got anybody around today? Make sure you say hello so we know who we're painting with today. All right, so we are going to start with, we got a little bit heavier paper. You can use copy paper, but if you have something heavier, it works a little bit better when we're going to do watercolor. It just, copy paper gets so wet so quickly, and sometimes it's harder to get good textures in it like you would on a little bit heavier paper. This still isn't real heavy, but it works fine for what we're doing. Okay, we're going to get started here with our rocket. So I have my Sharpie here. So we're going to start. Remember, we always kind of get our eye where the middle of our paper is. So we want to know where the middle is because we want a good placement of this. So we got, put your finger right in the middle, and we're going to slide it up towards the top right corner. But we're not going to go all the way up there. So just leave maybe the lid of your Sharpie distance from the corner to the tip of your finger. And I want you to put a dot right there, okay? So we slid up from the middle, we put a dot right there. Okay, from that dot, we're gonna come down, we're gonna curve over towards the left and down. Okay, we're coming down, 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 down. And we're gonna stop and make sure we got some room here at the side. Again, about the lid length or about half of your Sharpie. And we're gonna stop there. Okay, we're gonna come back up to our point where we started, where the dot was, and we're going to go the other way, and we're going to try to follow the same curve that we did going the other way. And then we're going to stop. Okay. Then we're going to close the bottom of this by putting a line right across the bottom. It can curve just a little bit. Okay, we're up here at the end of our rocket ship. We are going to make a line, and we're just going to close off the tip of this, and we're going to curve up just a little bit and just make a little bit of a line there. And then we're going to make a window. So we're going to make a circle. You can make it pretty good size. Mine's about the size of a quarter. And then I'm going to do another circle around that circle. So it just gives some extra detail to our picture. So there's our window. All right, so down here at the bottom, towards the bottom, we're going to make a curved line. We're going to leave a little space. So I'm going to make a curved line going across that way. It curves down just a little bit, matches the line that I have at the bottom. Hey, Erin, Ella. I know you by Erin. It's good to have you on here. You drawing with your little ones today? I miss you. I hope you're doing well. So anyways, okay. You have, sorry, I'm trying to lean out here to read. Hello. A 9-year-old with you guys today. All right, welcome. Madison, is that the name, Caden? I can't read it from here. No?
No.
What's... Malcolm. All right, welcome, Malcolm. Sorry, I couldn't read your name. I got eyes that aren't that great, so I had to stand up to read it. So welcome, Malcolm. Hope you enjoy making our rocket and our astronaut today. All right, so I have one line. Now I'm going to make another line, so it's kind of a stripe across this rocket here. So we have a stripe. Okay, so these are just details that I'm adding. You can do your own thing. I'm going to put some stripes in this bottom section here. Just down here, put some stripes. It'll make it fun when we paint. Okay, another thing up here along this line up here, I'm just gonna put dots. They're like the screws that screw the tip of the rocket on. Hopefully they're good and tight. We don't want our rocket falling apart when we're flying off into space. Okay, now we need some little fin wing things. So we're gonna come out, we'll start at the very bottom edge of our rocket. We're gonna make an angle out on each side. Just a little angle. And then we're gonna come up above the stripe that we did across there, a little above that. We're gonna angle out the same direction that these angles went out on each side. Just a little ways out, about the width of your finger. And then we're gonna close those in. Okay, Caden's got a cool rocket. Can you show, oh, we can kind of see it at the top. Turn it this way so they can see the shape of your rocket. He's got his little rivets or screws going all the way down the sides. Okay, so now let's do a flame coming out the end. This is gonna be pretty simple because we're also gonna do some other things. So we're gonna do a flame. So I'm just coming out, making a long line and then a bump that goes in just a little ways. And then I'm gonna come out again and I'm gonna make a bump and I'm gonna come back in about where I came out from that one. And I'm gonna make a little bump and I'm gonna go in there. So when we paint, we might paint that yellow and then let's do a bigger one around it. And this part we might paint red. So we're gonna come in and out in, out. Sorry, let's get it the right, what I'm saying is matching with what I'm doing. In, out, then back down, then out, and then back down, and out, and curve all the way back to the end of my rocket. Okay, so there's our rocket. So we can do so many more things with the rocket, but we're gonna stop there and we're gonna come over and we're gonna make an astronaut right here, okay? So we're going to start with, we're gonna just start, make sure you have space in here. And then we wanna make sure, let's just go ahead and make our circle first. No, let's not do that. We'll do it the way I drew it to begin with. You make sure you leave a little space up here. So we're gonna do a rectangle. I'm gonna start with 2 lines that are straight, that are alongside each other, perpendicular. They're not close, but they're going both the same way. And then I'm gonna make a slight curved line right along the bottom of it and connect them. And then I'm gonna make another curved line that curves down along the top and connect that. So it's a square, but the top and the bottom line are curved just a little bit down. All right, inside this top curved line, I'm gonna make a little line going up and a little line going up that's in from the corner, just a little bit. And then I'm gonna connect those 2 with a line that goes across that kind of matches the curve of the first line. All right, down at the bottom, I'm gonna do 2 of these, starting right from the edge. Make 2 lines out, not all the way across, because this is where the legs are gonna be. So we need space for 2. So I'm making 1, and then I'm gonna come over to this side, and I'm gonna make 2. Okay. So now, from the bottom corner of this little rectangle that we did, I'm gonna come down just a little ways and stop. I curved it just a little going in. Then I'm gonna go on the inside and I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna curve it just a little going in. And then I'm gonna close that in at the bottom. I'm gonna do the same thing on this other one. I'm gonna come down, curve in, right from that corner, and then from the outside corner, I'm gonna come down and curve in, and I'm gonna close it in at the bottom. Okay, this is our astronaut legs. So now I'm gonna do feet, super easy. Just almost like an oval shape, just coming out from each one. Nothing fancy, just I curved it out and went right back in. So there's our feet. Now we want to be able to bend our legs when we're walking around on the moon, right? So I'm going to make the stripes in the legs so it's like, almost like what's behind your dryer. Have you ever seen the dryer hose? Kind of like that, so it bends. So I'm putting stripes all the way down my legs. All right, up here on the top corners of the first square that we made, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna curve out just a little ways. And then I'm gonna come down just a short distance and I'm gonna curve out the other way. And I'm gonna close that off. And then I'm gonna come to the other side and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna come down and stop, and then I'm gonna come down a little ways and come down and stop at the same place right next to each other, and I'm gonna close it off. And then I'm gonna make like mittens like we did with our mermaid hands. So I guess you wear gloves when you're in space, I'm sure. So we're gonna do just like the feet. We're gonna do the circle that's long, and then I'm gonna do a little thumb circle right on the bottom side. So just a little one, so we got our space gloves on. And then we'll do it on the other side. And then I'm gonna put stripes down my arms so I can make sure I bend my arms when I'm walking around on the moon, picking up samples of rocks and sticking my flag in the moon. So I go all the way down and I get the stripes on there. Okay. Now, remember how, if you were here yesterday, how we drew our mermaid head? So I'm going to make a U, kind of a big U, kind of a wide U. That's what I'm going to start with. I didn't quite come down to this rectangle, but then I can put my neck in there. My astronaut kind of has a long neck, but that's
So
okay.
does mine.
Yours does? No, yours doesn't. Yours looks good. Okay, so we can put a little smiley in there. You can just put a little swish for the nose. You don't need any kind of detail. You can just do a curve up on each side for the eyes. All I did was a little curve, and then I just put a little dot underneath, and there's our eyes. Now, if you're a boy drawing this, you can make boy hair, or if you're a girl drawing this, you can make hair to match yours. So if you were gonna do boy hair, we're just gonna curve up. I don't know what hairstyle you have, but you can just make it how you want. So I curved up into a place in the middle, or you can kind of go to the side. And then you're gonna go over the top on each side, and then you can put lines to give the texture of your hair. Or if I want to make hair like mine, I could just take and do a lot of curls. I'm doing a lot of curly cues here. This is what my hair looks like. Okay, so it can be whatever hair you want. Okay, so we want an astronaut helmet on, right? So I have this little cup. If you don't have something, you can just draw a circle around it, or you can add it later. So I have this little cup, and I'm just gonna go around to get my helmet on. That way it's a nice circle. You can draw a circle around it too. You don't have to have a cup. Add a little bit more hair here. Okay. So the helmet is glass, and to make it look like it is reflective, like it's showing a little bit of light reflecting on it, I'm going to do a little curve, just a little one. I don't know if you've ever seen how people have drawn bubbles. So I have a little curve and another little curve, and then I'm going to connect those. It's like a little rectangle, just as light reflecting on the helmet. And then we need an antenna on top. So I'm just going to make a little flat circle right on the very top of my helmet. This is so I can talk to Houston. Houston, we have a problem. Make a little bump on top of that circle, little line, and a little circle at the top. That's my little antenna. Or I can say, hey, Mom, I'm coming home. Have some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches ready for me, cut out like rocket ships and stars. Okay, so let's put some controls on the front of our space suit. So I'm going to do a square. And then I'm going to divide my square in half right down the middle. And I'm going to do some circles on one side. Then I'm going to divide this side in half this way. And I might do some rectangles here. I don't know what you want in this one. Just whatever you want. This is where you guys do an awesome job at being very creative. Okay, so we need to be connected to our spaceship so we're not flying off in space. So we're going to come out from the side. I'm going to make a little itty bitty square right there. That's my plug-in. And I'm going to make a line, go all the way around my astronaut arm, and then just come right into the side of my spaceship. I'll make a little square for a plug-in there. Now I can make this wider by doing another line all the way around it. You don't have to make it wider. One line would be good. But if you want, you can do 2 lines close together, and then you can just put little lines in there. Okay, so now this is where you could, if you wanted, before you do this line, or if you already did it, it's fine. This is where you can, yesterday I told you maybe to have scissors. You could cut, I would paint them first. So, but I'm not gonna do it that way because it'll take too much time for me to show you. But if you wanted to, after you watercolored your astronaut and your rocket ship, and we're gonna watercolor it here in just a minute, but after you watercolor, if you want to, you could cut them both out, your astronaut and your rocket ship, and just not do the cord to connect them. And then when we do our sheet with all of our planets on it, you could glue those on top, and then you could draw a cord on there. So you could do that later, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish this picture, kind of like we've been doing, where we do background, we add all sorts of stuff. So here's my wooden pancake. I'm going to make this a planet right up here in the corner of this space. So I'm just laying it on the corner of my paper. So anything you have to trace around will work for this. So I just made it right on the corner there. I have room for something here, so I'll do another planet right here. I'm using my can of water. Just be careful if you're using Sharpie and it gets on something. It doesn't really come off very well. I'm gonna make the moon surface right here, and I'm not gonna use a circle for this. So right down here, I'm gonna make a really long curved line that just goes right across the corner of my paper, because we can have some fun with that. That's all the planets. I could do more planets if I wanted to. If you do it on a bigger piece of paper and you just did planets all over it, there's a lot of fun stuff. You could do that. A couple other things I want to show you. I want to show you how to do a star if you wanted bigger stars. You don't have to have stars like this, but if you wanted to draw some stars, you could. If you know what the letter V looks like. So I make a V, okay? So then I'm going to come around. So this V is kind of pointing down towards the bottom. I'm going to draw a V that goes up towards the top corner, a little bit towards the top corner. If I just think I'm going to go different directions, I need 5 of them though. And I keep making V's all the way around and connect them. That's how you can make a star. 5 V's. So let's do this again. So I'm making a V going up, making a V going to the side, making a V going to the other side, and then I gotta fit 2 in, going down to each corner at the bottom. That's probably the easiest way to show you. Let me do one over here. I'm gonna go a V up, pointing towards the top of my paper, a V pointing towards the left side, a V pointing towards the right side, and a V pointing towards the bottom left corner, and a V pointing towards the bottom right corner. Shall we do one more? Okay, let's do one right up here. V up towards the top. Try to move my hand so you can see. V towards the left side of my paper. V towards the right side of my paper. V towards the bottom left corner. And a V towards the bottom right corner. Okay, I think that's all the stars I'm going to put. And we're going to paint now. You already started, Caden?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me show you. I'm going to paint background first. Well, let's see. Do you remember? Also, here's one other little trick. If you have a white crayon, you could also push really hard and you could make white dots all over your space. You got to push really hard though, and you can't really see it. Okay? But you can just do, these are stars that are far away. Just make sure you push really hard. If you wanted to, you could go ahead and color in your other stars. I'll do one that way, but then I'll paint the other ones. I'll just show you some ways you could do it. You could also, let's make some textures. You could make, I'm going to do some circles on my moon here. Not worried about them being perfect circles. I'm pushing super hard, and you'll be able to see it when I start painting. Sorry, Caden, I'm really wiggling the table.
It's okay.
You can't see it at all right now, but
I have a pink rocket ship.
Let's see what happens when we paint. You have a pink rocket ship? Okay. So I'm going to do my sky. Now, I have black in my paint. I also have a dark purple, which is almost gone. So I may not use that yet. But I want you to see my sky, my space. So I want to paint really careful all around my planets. If you haven't watercolored yet with me, you want your paint in your tray and the cake paint in here to get really wet. That way it's nice and vibrant, bright colors, but you don't want your paper to be soaking wet. Okay, can you see those white dots from my stars? So where my paint goes, if I push hard enough, the paint won't paint on those places. That's called resist. Now you want to paint really slow around your stars. We want this to dry before we do our planets. Now, if we paint planets first, that's fine. We can do that. And then we need it to dry before we paint our sky. So either way, whichever you paint first, we want it to be dry before we paint the next, because I'm going to show you some really cool ways to make your planets look cool. I'm going to go ahead and go all the way around this planet with my black. That way it can get dry. And then we'll come back and I'll show you how to make some, you'll have fun. You'll be making planets all day, except when you're outside playing, which you got to get outside because it's been so nice out. I'm surprised some of you are even on here painting with me. Thank you for being here. Make sure you let people know they can watch the replay, and if you don't have time to watch it all the way right now, you can come back and watch it whenever you want. Up in the top right-hand corner, there's a save. If you click on the 3 dots, you can save for later if you want. So that way you'll have a list of your saved stuff, and it's on there. Don't forget to share this with your friends that have kids at home that also like to do art. Hi, Terry. How are you doing? I miss seeing you too. I feel like it's been forever since I've seen you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being always such a good support to me with my painting business. Okay, so I'm going to just come down around this rocket and then I'll stop and we'll paint some other things. Okay, you can paint all around your sky here. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do my rocket here. You guys, I just can't wait to see your art. When you guys get it all done, be sure and share it in the comments below, or you can just add it right on my page. Whatever you want to do. I love seeing what you guys come up with. I need a paper towel. And get the paint really wet in your watercolor trays. That water sits in there, it softens that paint, and then your paints are way brighter than if you don't get much water on it. Just make sure if your brush has too much, if it does end up with too much paint on it, you can use your brush to lift it up, or if you need to, you can use your paper towel to lift up some of the extra paint if it gets too heavy. Now this is kind of cool because my yellow's still wet, where my yellow and my orange kind of bleed together a little bit. For the fire, it makes a cool look to it. I don't think it's quite wet enough though. I'm gonna get it just a little wetter and let some of that orange bleed into that. Now, if your paper looks like it's getting too wet, like I said, you can use your paper towel and just lift up some of that paint. Okay, let's see. Whoops. Let's see, I'm gonna paint. Let me get my rocket done. Paint a little bit on my astronaut. Do astronauts always have to wear white spacesuits? Seems like everything I've ever seen, they're always white. I don't know. What do you think, Hayden? Are they always white?
Yep.
They are? Okay, he says they're always white. But my little control box in the middle is not going to be white. And I want some red astronaut gloves on. That way I know mine are red and they don't get mixed up with the other astronauts.
Well,
Everybody has color-coded gloves and boots. Okay. I want to make my helmet. Let's see. Did you do skin color on your mermaid?
yeah.
I'm just mixing a really light kind of yellow color here. And I'm going to paint it on my, looks kind of dirty. I need to get a bath. My face looks dirty. But I painted it on, so if it's too dark, whoops, I just smeared my glove. I just dabbed it off. That way it looks kind of skin color. I got my glove, got all over. Okay, so because I wanted to do that, because I want to show you.
I look space sick. My face is green.
Your face looks green.
Mm-hmm.
Probably nauseated from flying in space.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my hair has some blonde in it. Maybe not so much right now. Okay, let's see. I want to make my helmet look like, so I want really light. I don't want a lot of color here. So my black is really diluted, and I'm painting my helmet almost a light gray. And I'm leaving that little rectangle we drew in there, leaving that white. Well, I just smeared my hair over me. Okay. All right, let's come down to this moon that we did. So I'm going to take my bright blue. Oh, I like your planet you got up at the top.
Mm-hmm.
So remember I did all those swirls with the crayon?
Mom, I found a tan color.
You did?
Uh-huh.
All right.
See, look. Or I'm going to make a tan planet. See, look.
Uh-huh. Good job. So see my little swirls I did on my moon surface? You can see those now that I put paint over it. Because I pushed. The big key to that is make sure you push really, really hard. Okay, so we're going to come over here. This one's probably dry, but I'm going to come over here and I want to show you some cool ways to do your planets. And this is where you can get more paper and you can do this all you want. So I just have my paintbrush and I'm doing water only. I'm just painting this inside my circle with water only. Now I don't have, none of the paper right around this is wet, okay? So I'm painting that circle with water and nothing around it is wet because I don't want it to go into the other part. Now I can just pick colors on the tip of my brush and I can just, can you see them where they just spread around? They just like, you drop it on there and they just spread and they just, so whatever colors you want to make all your planets. Now, if your paper gets dry again, you just put a little bit more water on it. Again, you don't want to get it too wet because then you'll start having problems here with your paper. Let's just look how that made this little tunnel right through there. Now don't dry it off though. Don't use your paper towel to dab it off because you'll lose all those really cool. You got to let it dry. Okay. I want just a little bit more of this pink to be a little brighter than I did at the very beginning. What planet's really hot, Caden? This planet looks like it's
Mars.
Mars. Okay, I guess that's my Mars. All right, I'm going to turn my paper around. I'm going to let that one dry, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to do this great big one. So I'm going to, because all this black paint that I painted is dry now, so I don't have to worry about it bleeding into this space part of my sky. Now, doing a bigger area, you may have to do just a little bit at a time because your water's going to soak in, so you don't want to get it too wet. So maybe just do a little bit and then you can add to it. So I didn't get all of it wet. I want this purple. Getting my purple all blended out of there.
Look at this planet. Mom.
Uh-huh, very cool. It's just cool seeing the different patterns it makes. Add a little of this. My edge. Anybody on right now? I got a few people who's still watching. Thank you for being on here with us again. We are having fun. I think it wouldn't matter whether I had anybody else doing it with it. We still have fun, but man, it's sure fun to know who's painting and what you're coming up with. All right, so this is this planet. Now also, one of our other classes, I think one we did where we did water, if you had salt, you could sprinkle salt on your planet with it wet, and it would make a neat texture as well.
I'm done with mine.
You are? You want to show it?
I don't want.
Well, you got to paint your sky.
I don't like doing the background because it crinkles and then it folds. So.
Well, you haven't, no, look at your hermit crab. You need your sky to have some color to it. You sure? Or are you just done? I think Caden needs to color his sky, so, especially since it's space. So if you're gonna go back and paint, make sure you don't touch your planets where they're wet. Because it will pull that color, that black, right into your planet, and it'll be like it's getting swallowed up in the black hole. And if you paint around your stars and you want to come back and paint them yellow later, you can. Again, you want to make sure your paint's dry around it. Let's do, I want my window to be a little to my rocket ship. I'll turn my paper back around. Whoa, my big marbly planet's really spreading. I want to put just a little yellow in this. Might make it look kind of like Earth if I let some of my yellow blend in with my blue. Kind of.
This is my favorite planet.
Is it? Yeah, that looks cool. All right, so we're going to finish up here. Trying to think it. So if you want to make just background papers with just the space and the planets, when it's dry, you can cut out your rocket and your astronaut and you can glue them on there if you want to do that. See, my blue down here is still wet and you can see that black creeping into the moon here. That's why it's important to make sure it's dry if you don't want your colors to mix. Now, if you want them to mix, then you go for it. I'm going to just paint a little bit around my astronaut, and then we're going to close off today, and you guys get out and play. Finish up your schoolwork if you still got that to do. But it's going to be nice out before it starts raining again. So we need to be out.
It's going to rain again?
I think it's supposed to rain later tonight. So make sure you get plenty of time outside.
What time?
Hmm?
What time is it supposed to rain?
Oh, I think tonight it's not going to be till after we go to bed. But then there's chance of rain tomorrow. I don't remember. Okay, well, I'm going to sign off and we're going to finish painting this. And you guys have a great afternoon. Thank you for staying tuned in to this. And we will see you. Make sure you share with us what you're doing. And we'll see you tomorrow. What do we paint tomorrow? Oh, we're doing castles tomorrow, so it'll be fun. I tell you what, tomorrow's castle will be for all ages, so really young ones will be able to do it, and then older kids will be able to add a lot more stuff to it, so it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. So make sure you tune in tomorrow, and we'll do castles, and next week tomorrow we'll put out what we're going to do next week. I know we're going to do a flamingo. Caden wants to do that on Monday. So Monday will probably be a flamingo. So anyways, stay tuned for tomorrow at 1 o'clock again if you want to watch it live. Otherwise, it's all on my Facebook page. When you scroll down through there, you will find all of the tutorials that we've done so far, which this is number 7. Is today Thursday? Yeah, I'm confused again. Yep, today was number 7. So we're doing awesome with all these painting tutorials. So we got a lot more to do. So thanks again. Have a great afternoon.